Hi, and welcome to a review. It's about to start. The actual reaction starts at this time in the video, and it ends around about this time. Afterwards, we just discuss the thing. Apologies for my hyper discussion. I had a coffee, and I'm clearly a little juiced up. And also, I felt like I had to do a bit more talking because our poor little boy here is a little ill.
You had a coffee.
So, yeah.
I see.
Thank you for watching.
That explains a lot.
If you're new here, we are filmmakers. And we like movies. It's in the name of the channel. It's all we do. And we're gonna react to some Moon Knight because we love Marvel and we've been watching it since forever. And it's time to continue the newest entry in the saga of the ongoing growing world. I am excited to see what Oscar Isaac has to offer because I don't think he would have taken this role without thinking it had something to offer. And Moon Knight has a lot of good potential. And hopefully this will be represented. Anything you'd like to say, co-host?
Oscar Isaac Hernandez Estrada.
And that is a good way to let go. Expectations wise, I'm like expecting he's practicing a magic trick, but
Ethan Hawke's gonna be the bad guy. That seems obvious.
He's practicing a magic trick. Oh no, he failed. Where's some of those I better have a memorable Moon Knight theme in this one. I better have a theme I can remember and I can hum. That's what makes it good. A superhero's theme is the most important. One of the most important things about the character.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Marvel. See, double check. He has his map. Hello, Mom. It's me. I mean, I'll let Oscar Isaac sleep on me. He works at the. That's an interesting twist. Actually, I'll give him that. You expect, of course, but no, he just works at the souvenir.
Hello.
Hello.
Sugar trader. Real catch you are.
Just British people just have this unsurmounted amount of sass at everything they say and do for no reason.
So that was his other personality that invited her
out. Smart. Right, because let's say he manages to get the restraints off, but then his other personality could just, let's say you wake up, you remove the thing, you jump over your bed, you just take off the tape and put on a new one. Oh, that's his jaw.
Ow.
Oh my god. Oh, that was weird.
Oh, that was weird.
Accurate.
It's okay, Mr.
See, his hood is already white.
I see. Interesting how he does it so weirdly public. I guess just hanging in a park, murdering some ladies. Well, I guess he's not specifically murdering them.
Sorry.
Oh no.
Oh,
Idiot's back. No, they're taking our ideas.
Sorry.
Don't worry
This
about
is
it.
what we wrote.
It's okay.
You're noticing there's a lot of imagery of mirrors of where you see him being projected 3 times, right? Are you noticing that?
Yep. I mean, just it's all about metaphorical splits,
Yeah.
Sorry. What day is it today? Sunday, sir. No. Is it really?
Huh? He's a vegetarian. He said.
I'll have the best bit of beer. Something up to it. How'd you like that? Good. Yeah, very good. Very good. Well done.
Don't give chocolate to you. I'm a big advertiser for making
That's
actors.
kind of nice though. But
say a weird line.
He's friendly with the fish.
Hello?
Hello.
It's shadows.
Watch Shadows and Death films coming soon in production. Watch trailer.
We didn't rip them off. We didn't.
Be ready. This is 2015. It's fine.
See again at the
Reflections, the echo one.
It's always 3 reflections at least. See? 1, 2, 3. It repeats the imagery of that. There's a moon right there.
Moon Knight.
Day and night.
Hello?
I ain't gonna hurt ya. You like that?
3 reflection.
And then one of them's gonna look in a different direction.
Yeah.
I see the mirrors and reflections.
Yeah, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 2. Half a face. It's gonna turn around and it's gonna be him in the...
Yeah.
Could have stayed longer on that one. But, not at the museum.
No, Beastie. I was busy putting on my cool outfits. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This is how you end the episode.
Yeah, of course.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty solid.
I am a happy camper with it too so far. An intriguing little story. There's a nice fluid mystery idea. I like the premise. Marvel being Marvel, it still has a way of keeping things fresh and new by introducing new fresh ideas, which is why I think it lasts and stays. And obviously by introducing new characters, you have a good way of doing that. But so far I'm happy with what I've seen. Oscar Isaac's doing a great job. I see twists because in the sense of like the way they play with like the audience, I specifically mean with expectation and what your expectation of what a show like this is, let's say, if not direct answers, like concrete answers. And obviously a good mystery will keep those like things fluid and not really like give you them. Obviously what you're afraid of is not doing that the whole time through, because then it becomes infuriating or annoying, as long as you're not also giving the audience clues to figure out themselves. But this, I wouldn't say, has done that. I don't think you could really figure it out, whatever, watch the episode in like, 0.5% speed or whatever, like people do, and the Easter egg in a moment.
Yeah.
You never know. But for a first episode to sell you and get you intrigued, it's a great way of doing it. But also, like I said in the review, in the reaction, I said I'm actually really happy about it because it is teasing that idea of like what's happening, what's going on, so you're excited to finally see him become Moon Knight and do the stuff. So it's a good tease.
And if you don't know what's going on.
No, then it's also again a good tease of, it's a good mystery that you're building up. The idea of what's happening to him, what does he do, who, what is who, and what.
Because if it is the fact that he has 3 different personalities or something, then
if we're going for that, which I guess we will be doing, like the material we've seen so far is classic Moon Knight and suit Moon Knight. And we'll see if we get a third version or not, that they just maybe kept secret, or the third version is just Steven. That could just be it. Like, those are the 3. But you almost want 3 different versions of Moon Knight and Steven. I feel like that's even more interesting.
Right.
But that's also the big part where a piece of me wonders, like, in the grand scheme of things, if we can push Oscar Isaac or the story to go for the full. Like, each version of Moon Knight is a different adaptation of the Egyptian gods. So eventually we can go up to 9 different personalities, and they're going to base them off
the thing?
In the comics, from what I remember and accurate, is that he has no real moral compass. So what he tries to do is model himself after other heroes. Which also curious to see how they'll explain it. Because Marvel has been very careful to try to just say, no, magic doesn't exist, it's science. And then recently they've been like, but also magic does exist, but they're being funky about it. I always was upset with Doctor Strange, and they went for its energies from the cosmos that they use to make magic, and I'm not like a big fan of that. I don't know. You don't have to explain it through science. That's the kind of point of magic. It's just the thing that is. We'll see. They've kind of like they overcorrected, or just corrected with that in WandaVision, where they're just like, oh, you're a witch. Witches are a thing. Wanda, you're a witch. Oh, cool. So I wonder what the difference between a sorcerer and a witch is, because he feels like that's kind of the balance that we have, right? We have the sorcerers, Doctor Strange people, and then we have, I guess, witches and wizards, which are Wanda stuff. So to be waited and to be seen how that works, and the idea of gods and stuff. What does that mean? What are these entities really? Are they gods then? Thor, magic and science are the same. So you're basically saying that you're very advanced, that your science seems like magic? That always the way I understood it. Like, sure, you're still shooting lightning, so that's clearly not. But they felt like afraid to maybe embrace that part. And they felt like they wanted to kind of go realistic with it. Maybe that's some of that Nolan influence in there, that idea. But then they've slowly been walking away from that and embracing the comic bookness in a lot of aspects. Yeah. And I think that's the right direction, because that would also keep things fresh. I don't need everything to be overly explained. Like, we've already been on this ride for so long. We are invested. I am interested. I want to see more of it. And them embracing new ideas like magic is real, all this other stuff, in which they could use to do new stories different than what they've shown. Not in the world, of course, I'm saying just in general, new stories.
But it is a good point of the gods, because Eternals,
Eternals,
they inspired the different mythology stories.
Right.
Specifically Greek ones and all that. So
Well, all of those ones have like similar.
Yeah,
Greek
but
and
what do
Romans
we
have very
say? What do we
similar
say
echoes
about
of each other.
Egypt? What do we say about
Exactly?
that? Are they real?
So this is something. And the reason
I didn't think about that at all, actually.
No, but that's why I was wondering. I was like, interesting. You've introduced this now.
Now you mentioned
how
it,
does
now
it
it
work
feels
in the overall world?
Yeah,
it's one of those big questions where, like in comic book land, like I am okay with not giving me a concrete explanation because it's about the journey and the destination, not the how. But because you've been a franchise that addresses it, you kind of have to address it. I feel like anyway. I'd be surprised if they just were like, no. I get it if they were just like that, but they better. I feel like it'd be surprising if we don't get an explanation. I would actually be surprised if they just like no, because you have to explain what this personality is, why the gods are doing what they're doing. You know, why that goddess is fighting them. Why did they fight against her? Clearly, that's the balance here that we're going to be facing with. Balance, because the guy at the... Okay.
It gets complicated, you think about all that stuff.
We just have to let them answer. As of right now, there's no need to speculate. I think that's a little silly, because I think they have to have figured this out. And someone sitting there in the room must have gone, guys, wait a minute. So I look forward to see what their explanation is. I will be surprised if none is given. I expect something to be said. But
I hope they don't keep it small scale, though. I that's what I hope.
This whole story, or?
Yeah, and just like the overallness of the whole thing.
What I'll say about that is I don't want every story in Marvel to become the like this hero had to save the world every time, or even the city.
I don't mean that. I mean like actually go to Egypt. Go to.
Oh no, I'm short, dude. There's no way. I'd say go to places. Go to Egypt. Go to there. Go to one more place. I would be genuinely surprised if we don't go to Egypt. Because that's a new location. It's different than what we've seen.
Exactly.
Keep things fresh.
Exactly. Which is why the second half of the episode, from the chase onwards, it started being a bit more interesting looking overall, because you noticed the symbolism in the shots and more of the ideas that were necessarily sometimes hidden in plain sight or not, but it was a bit more. Every moment here matters. More so now on, because in the first half it felt like a little bit like just follow the actor around kind of thing.
Do you think it was done intentionally for that idea of disorientation? Of like you're just as much in the middle of the chaos as he is?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I feel like that was the idea.
I'm sure they were doing that, and I think it worked for a bit, but then I think it went on for a bit too much, because they kept doing that when he was in the town where he saw the whole cult thing happening. I felt for that scene, he needed to just kind of like calm down a bit more and have a bit more of a momentum of it. So it just seemed too much like you can drop the documentary aspect for this scene, because I didn't really like feel the impact of it. But then the rest I felt the impact of, which is the thing. Or like I just looked at that scene and felt like, well, that seemed like just point the camera at everyone instead of like let's have a bit of a start on Ethan Hawke's feet again, and then have him against the sun or something, and then have like a moment of reveal and like a bit more scope to the scene. I felt it was a bit too.
I also felt it was
quickly filmed. I mean,
it really had this feeling of like, let's just get some people and like film in this town square. That is the one thing I will say I felt about it. Especially since that's the first confrontation and everything. It's just like, they're just in a fucking yard.
Because when he was running away from the guards at the beginning, it was doing this thing as well, right? I was like, okay, whoa, calm down a little bit. And then as soon as the chase happens, okay, good, we're backing up, we're seeing the vistas and all that. And from then on, it felt very focused and very well put together. Whenever he zones out, and you would come back to him and all that, and the rest of it was good, no complaints really. Only like you could have stayed, 5 more frames on the half statue and his face on the other side or something, just something like that. So I feel like you should dare to experiment a bit more with that kind of thing. From a script point of view and a performance point of view,
it's really good.
No,
so far, not a problem.
No.
Later on, we'll see what happens. But for now, one episode, especially the pilot.
That's the thing. Now that you've seen that there are creatures and he has this fantastical costume, right? Like keep building on that,
right?
And
at least it wasn't like a last episode thing. You're like, no. Actually, that's important. Effects. What'd you think? The clear special effects.
Sometimes uneven.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I felt the same thing. The dog beast was the quote unquote easy to hide because you're doing it in bad lighting, that stuff. In the car, I felt that as well a little bit. I think it was one specific shot. I think it was
it gets a little blurry in a way to like hide the details of it.
Yeah, which is not yeah, not a good thing. Because not everything is blurry, it's a specific thing that's blurry. Because if everything is blurry, you think, oh, motion blur or something like that, which is a weird thing. I would rather the whole thing goes a little blurry, because then you just think, oh, the camera flipped really hard or something. Yeah. But usually it's the effect itself that can sometimes be blurry, because they're trying to make it look as smooth as possible. But it doesn't. Sometimes I wonder if it's worth to sacrifice the whole screen for a second, because then it feels part of the motion, than to try to pretend the whole thing is a smooth process when your eyes can see fake pretty good. So I wonder, especially after years of being exposed to fake, you start picking up on it. But
yeah, I mean,
look,
I think
it's
Marvel,
still fine.
It can sometimes,
but
unfortunately, still happen.
Weirdly enough,
in Eternals, I didn't think it was a problem.
No, in Spider-Man, you felt it. That's the weird one.
Yeah, in Eternals, I think the effects
you felt
great.
It weird. Yeah.
I felt they were really there, like in a 4-dimensional kind of way, but in Spider-Man, it's
that's the one when you go oof.
Flat at times. Yeah.
Sadly, that's the one that really makes you sad. Hopefully, for like a digital release, they've done a better job. I hope something, but I find it unlikely. Man, Fighter of the Night Man.
Yeah, this went on quite a bit, so I don't know who's still here, but.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hello, Inca.
No.
Don't give it to you. Don't give it to you. Don't believe me, guess what? Yeah!
Yes, commercials love you.
Don't believe me, just watch. Just watch. Don't